Hi, you're on the Bible Forum, and I am still Warren Sprouse. It is July 22nd, 2018, and we are here as we are every Sunday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, looking at life through a biblical lens. You know, your president went to Russia last week. You know that, right? About one of the only things he really was successful at was antagonizing the U.S. media and the political class. Yeah, both Democrats and Republicans. What did he do? Well, he broke the cardinal rule. He took at face value the denial of Russia's premier that official Russia did not interfere in our elections. Did Russia interfere? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is all that news? No. They've done it for years. Wasn't the first time. The technology just allows it to be more dynamic, but they've been doing this. The news here is that the Democrat National Committee's internet servers were hacked by Russian hackers. Why? Because they weren't being protected. Hillary had her own server. Who knows what else was going on? And why did they go after the Democrats and not the Republicans? Probably because it was easy. Or more likely because they knew they could influence them easier. They're almost communists now. They're socialists. The Democrat National Committee was maintaining a secret that the Democrat committee, had deliberately torpedoed the Sanders effort in favor of Hillary. How do we know that? We don't know it from the hard drives because they were conveniently destroyed. Not before the FBI came to collect them, however. But the Democrat leadership refused to release them. You try that. I'm the FBI. I have papers that say you're to give me this. No, we're not doing that. Try it. You'll be saying what you got to say through the bars. Not the Democrat National Committee. Instead of obeying the law, they hired a private firm to evaluate what was on those drives and on those servers. A company who employs the wife of a high government employee was the company they hired. It's called Fusion GPS. And to date, they are presumably the only ones who have ever seen the raw information. And these are the people who insist on presidential transparency. This high government employee's husband was then given the report, presumably by his wife, and hand-delivered it to the FBI. What the news reports about the data in the report is only what the DNC has revealed. And it's safe to say that they revealed only that which bolsters their story, or at least does not make them look like criminals. The prevailing theory is that if Russia had stayed out of our elections, Hillary would have won. Well, it's a theory. One thanks to a report by an organization with shady connections. An organization hired by Democrat Party bosses who are now sitting under their own clouds of unethical dealings. A report gathered from a document no government agency has yet to see. Gleaned from hard drives in the care of a foreign national who bolted from the U.S. as soon as he learned a warrant had been issued for his arrest. And that's just what we know. There's no doubt that a great deal will never be known. But all of this constitutes the evidence that President Trump had official Russia meddling in our election. Meddling takes on the idea that the effort was directed in the way we elect people. But today we know that was not the case. Trump goes to Russia. He announces that Russia is innocent. Innocent of what? Of what the Democrats and the media are accusing Russia of. He's innocent. The Democrats go ballistic. So the president backpedals a little bit. They go ballistic about that. It is entirely possible that the Russians were able to say with all honesty and sincerity, no, we are not guilty of what your people are saying we did. Oh, we did stuff. We didn't do that. It's that easy. But I think Donald Trump was responding to what he knew. He knew Russia didn't meddle in the mechanics of our electoral process. He knew Russia simply sought to influence voters. They were trying to influence voters for Hillary. He knew Russia did not tamper with the voting in any way. And he knows that there are a bunch of Democrats in high places with dirt under their fingernails about this. I think his backpedaling was not wise. His correction is not 100% credible. And that sets the stage for another saga. A saga that's getting increasingly muddy. Trump announced he wanted to reset our relationship with Russia. Anybody have a problem with that? He believed Putin in his denials and so forth. Again, within the framework that they were dealing, he probably is telling the truth. On her show this week, Laura Ingraham allowed, quote, Trump clearly should not have created any semblance of moral equivalency between our intel community, even if it has its flaws, which it does, and the assurances of Vladimir Putin. Amen. She went on to say he committed an unforced error. Absolutely. But she then defended him on the substance of this critique against the intelligence agencies. She went on to say, if, as some have charged, we are witnessing a president caving in to Russian blackmail, Trump has a strange way of caving in. Unlike President Barack Obama, Trump has approved the flow of lethal weapons to Ukraine in order to repel Russian invasion. Obama had limited our assistance to the Ukraine to humanitarian equipment only. Trump has sanctioned Russia repeatedly, for the first time approving sanctions against specific Russian oligarchs who played a role in the murder of Kremlin whistleblower Sergei Magnitsky. Trump ordered U.S. troops to fire on and kill a force of several hundred Russian mercenaries fighting in Syria. Trump ripped up the nuclear accords with Iran that Russia had signed and had sponsored, helped negotiate, and praised. And even now, on his swing through Europe, the president is hectoring European NATO allies to increase their defense spending to, what? Contain Russian intervention. Trump is berating German Chancellor Angela Merkel for agreeing to build a pipeline for Russian gas and oil under the Baltic directly to Germany, thus increasing Berlin's dependence on Moscow for energy. Ingraham wonders, are these the actions of a puppet suborned into docility by blackmail or bribery? And what is it that Russia is alleged to have done to swing the 2018 presidential race in Trump's direction, which is the central charge at issue? The sum total of the charges so far involved the placement under fraudulent auspices of $100,000 of internet ads underscoring divisions in the U.S. and calling attention to racial tensions. No penetration of our polling machines, no penetration of our electoral process, simply $100,000 of ads seeking to influence voters. And for all this, the left-wing media daily paints Donald Trump as a compromiser where Russia is concerned. One critic maintains Putin has bankrolled Trump for years in business dealings, and that without Putin's help, Trump would be a pauper. You can say anything you want. Left-wing media, along with the usual Republicans, are trying to paint Trump as a compromiser, a weakling, not standing up to Putin in Helsinki, and then to suggest that he's a liar for changing his story from would to wouldn't. But they all know that Russia has never sought to penetrate our electoral process. What they tried to do, apparently, is influence voters. And isn't that what everybody did? In this case, they were trying to get them to vote for Hillary. That's how successful they were. That's how huge this thing was. They'll never do it again. Yeah. Everybody in the world who has half a chance is trying to do stuff like that. You'd probably be surprised at what we're trying to do in other countries. Grow up.